Would I feel I had failed as a mother if my daughters chose having a career over being a wife and a mother? Let's unpack that statement because it's caused quite a bit of controversy. First of all, I think my daughters can be a wife and a mother and have a career. And second of all, I do not want my daughters looking out the window singing "Someday My Prince Will Come" because less and less men are interested in even getting married. So that's just the way the world works nowadays. But let's say Prince does come. We need to be honest, children are a blessing and a joy, but they are also an encumbrance. An encumbrance is a burden or impediment, and in the olden days, in literature, the word encumbrance and child were often used interchangeably. I have 6 daughters and 5 sons, and my oldest 2 daughters have expressed an interest in having a career in classical music. We've worked really hard as a family to help them get to that point, and they're really good at it, so it makes sense. But as a female performing classical musician, it takes quite a bit of bravery to have a child. Classical music performances are often booked a year or 2 or even more in advance, so that causes a bit of a struggle if you want to have a child because it's very hard to time when a child's going to come. Hilary Hahn and Midori are both A-list violinists that decided to bravely have a child, and sure enough, they had to cancel performances. Replacements were made, and it wasn't a huge deal, but still, it takes a level of bravery to be like, hey, I'm not coming to this performance. I think they made the right choice, and I would encourage my daughters to do the same. So yes, I would feel I had failed as a mother if my daughters decided not to be mothers because of fear of reprisal in their careers or because they felt that the encumbrance that a child brings does not outweigh the joy that a child brings. I would feel that I had not sufficiently demonstrated that children are a blessing and that they're worth it. So why am I so obsessed with my daughters having the best education possible if I'm also encouraging them to trip up their careers by having a kid? Because excellence opens doors and keeps doors open and creates a career environment where people are willing to wait for you. Excellence means you can cancel concerts and the world is waiting for you for when you're ready to get back on stage. My other daughter wants to be a composer, and we're struggling financially, but we've spent extra thousands of dollars so that she can take composition classes. She wants to be the next John Williams, and I'm like, you go girl, let's do it. But I do hope that the excellence that all of my daughters achieve allow them to operate not from fear but from a sense of confidence that they can take a break, have a baby, and when they're ready, the world still wants to hear from them. I do find it interesting that this was such a controversial thing to say because entire governments are pleading with their young women to get married and have kids. Like, people wrote articles about it. But guys, ideas have consequences. South Korea's birth rate has fallen to 0.77 births per woman. You have to have 2.1 births per woman to even replace yourself. Basically, if South Korea continues along this trajectory, they're going to be extinct as a people group. So they are spending $4.58 billion in the birth support project. They have government-sponsored speed dating to encourage marriage, and they're offering $64,000 for people to get married and have kids. Japan is also another country that has a very low birth rate, and they don't have enough young people to take care of the elderly people, and so they're using robots in nursing homes. Some elderly Japanese women are deciding that they'd rather go to jail, where at least somebody can look after them than be at home by themselves. Our family had the privilege of being in Marie Claire Enfant, and it's actually the Italian version. It's Italia. And they did a little story about our family, and I was like, oh, maybe it's because the kids are cute and they play instruments and stuff. But I also saw this. Italy also has a falling birth rate, and they say it's only getting worse. So it could be that part of the reason was they're just trying to show families and be like, hey, look, there's kids, have kids. Like I said earlier, I do not want my daughters pining away waiting for Prince to come. Prince may never come. Marriage is less and less sure, especially as less and less men are interested in getting married. And there are a lot of other paths to fulfillment as a woman. For instance, I would say about half of our most beloved music teachers are women that never got married and never had kids, and yet they live very fulfilled lives. Our original Suzuki teacher taught all of our kids, and she also taught this guy in the middle. He is the concert master of the Metropolitan Opera. There are musicians in orchestras all over the world because of this woman. She lives a very fulfilled life. Thanksgiving, Disneyland, camping, there are always Suzuki families inviting her everywhere, so she has no loneliness going on. So there are a lot of paths to fulfillment as a woman. I just don't want my daughters to rule out having a child, being a wife and a mother, because of the potential encumbrance that it would put upon them. I feel that children are a joy and they're worth it.